All right, next up, I'm excited to introduce the CEO and chairman of Automation Anywhere, Mihir Shukla. All right, Mihir, before we jump into the juicy part of this conversation, I'd love for you to give this group a little catch-up quick on Automation Anywhere, it's on, and what you do.
Thanks for having me. I'm Mihir Shukla, CEO, Chairman, Automation Anywhere. For a quick context, we are based in Silicon Valley, enterprise AI company and leading in automation. We have about 6,000 customers in 90 countries, in many industries. More than half of the global 2,000 are our customers. We run 420 million digital workers or co-workers on our platform. So it's a sizable AI infrastructure that we run. And our focus is on autonomous enterprise. So 18 months ago, we introduced a market-leading offering on how to run businesses in an autonomous way. Autonomous IT, autonomous supply chain, and autonomous enterprises. So a little bit about us.
Thank you. The world has been captivated by this enormous investment in AI. Especially when it comes to infrastructure, data centers, GPUs, countless deals between LLMs and tech companies. I would love to hear your perspective. Is this the AI bubble? Or maybe more importantly, what do you think comes next?
Are we going straight to the bubble?
I said we were going to get right into there.
Look, the AI is where, the AI market is where the AOL of the internet days were, right? Where 173 ISPs, we're getting the infrastructure right. And we often get super excited about infrastructure, but in reality, infrastructure is as necessary as it is. It does not capture value. The value is always captured on applications that come on top of it. And then Google and Amazon and many other companies came, and the trillion-dollar companies captured the value. I think we are super excited right now about infrastructure. And that's how normally it happens. 100 people bet on 100 things, and not all 100 will succeed. But it is creating a necessary condition for the real wave. If you think this is exciting, you haven't seen anything yet. Because a 10x wave of come when the AI value capture happens across industries, and people reimagine how work happens. Because this is, if you think about in a human history, every software changes how you work, so that's not new. What is new is every 100 or 150 years, we as a civilization change the definition of what a work should be. If many of us have a small garden in our backyard, that's a hobby for us. It used to be work for many 100 years ago. So this definition of what a work is about to change. And that is the real wave. This is just the beginning.
Okay, we're going to get to work in a little bit. But before work, you mentioned all of the CEOs and CIOs across all of these industries that you are working with. Let's talk about the biggest barriers these companies face when it comes to unlocking those AI investments.
I think you can't if you walk on Promenade, you will see AI maybe 100 times. So it's quite a noisy space. And I think everybody's coming from their viewpoint because it's redefining work. And in that, many people are talking about AI being an assistant. Now, in a large scheme of things, that is true. Because if you put 100 AI tools in a room, nothing will happen. The human is in charge. And AI is a tool that we will all leverage. But thinking of AI just as an assistant, just doing things better, faster, cheaper, this technology is far powerful than that. It is you have an ability to reimagine the workflow, to imagine 80%, up to 80% of the work happening autonomously. And different people come from a different angle. If you are a system of record company, you're trying to preserve your seat-based licensing model, and then charge more for AI. If I was a public company, I would be forced to do the same. The reality is you don't need sometimes 80% of the seat-based license model. And so this ability to reimagine your IT spend, how you operate, is a truly transformative moment. And so I think this is a leadership moment where a leader needs to step back and say, in a world where you could do anything, and many things are possible. What should we do? And stopping and thinking of 5 big things that would transform your business, create a competitive differentiation, and so that's the path most leader needs to take.
So you started to get into what I wanted to ask next, which is less barriers, but what happens when things are done the right way? So I'd love for you to continue on that. How should companies continue to think about moving closer to these full AI first models and an autonomous enterprise that you envision?
So that's a great question. I'll maybe ground it in few customer examples. So take an example for one of our customer, Petrobras in Brazil, large oil and gas company. They pay over $60 billion in taxes. And we were given a task to reimagine, if we could, with AI, reimagine how taxes happen. And we took an approach where in 3 weeks, we were able to save them $120 million. And this was new for us as well. In the world I come from, prior to AI, in 3 weeks, if you got project plan done, you would be lucky. And so what did just happen? We took one of the most complex tax code, I'm told Brazil has the most complicated tax code, into the system, collected data from 32 different systems, applied the new tax laws to this, took 2 weeks for models to learn and clear all the doubts, and then recomputed the entire tax for the enterprise. Now, I always knew doing a tax was not a human job. No offense to anybody who does that. But they make it complicated by design. That's how it feels, right? We saved $100 million in taxes. I mean, despite smartest people's best effort, you can't get it right. Take another example, Cargill. A single process saved in one region saved them $15 million, and in less than 1 minute to process an order. Take another example, British Gas Centrica, 50,000 customer escalations. 70% are auto-resolved by agents in a matter of minutes. And so I can go on. In every industry, reimagined way of working.
The amount of money that you're talking about right now, I think all of us have our homework to go back and look at those case studies. Okay, everyone's thinking about the impact on jobs, so I would love to hear your perspective.
That's the elephant in the room, isn't it? So I think the leaders need to be more transparent about it. When we say this is an assistant, and I think, as I said, at a higher level, that's true, right? But what people want to understand is, what does it mean for me? And to have a more transparent conversation about it, and a more compassionate conversation about it, because this is about trust. Do people trust their leaders? And I have been part of hundreds of such conversations where people are smart. If you give them the opportunity, you share with them what you're seeing. I'll share maybe 2 of them to ground the conversation. For example, in one of the process, when AI automated the process, errors disappeared. And there was a 100-people team who was in charge of solving the errors after the fact. And this was a unionized labor. So the union rep came in, and we had a transparent dialogue and say, you cannot create jobs by introducing errors. Those jobs do have to go away. But look, organization has other 1,000 open positions, how we can retrain people, because how do we get them back? But to have that dialogue, and the union agreed and say, yeah, that makes sense, right? You can't create jobs by creating errors. Another example, a large healthcare facility where a single process AI-led process automation saved 4,000 lives. Now think about it. You have an administrative process that cost you 4,000 lives. You should be outraged by it. In what world is that okay? And that's the world we live in. So this conversation is to be about how do we create a better world, and often creating a better world requires you to rearrange the pieces and to do it in a compassionate and a transparent way. I'll just share one thing. Look, if we keep looking for this quarter and this year, sometimes you don't get the future right. And I'll share a very, very humbling experience, but that sets your mind in the right direction. In school they have a parent day, and I was invited to talk about my daughter's school about what do I do. And so I go there and I talk about all the stuff that you heard. And students are not impressed. And I take it a little personally because it's my job to explain this thing, right? So I try again, and it's a tough crowd. And so somebody asks me and says, so how do you do that today? And I describe them how we work today. And they say, why would you do it that way? And I say, I don't know, we shouldn't be doing it that way. The point I'm making is that disruption of one generation is a common sense for the next. And this is already a common sense for them. The path is clear. We need to find a way.
Okay, we saved the best for last. You have an announcement today. I think it was under embargo until this morning. Yes. Please tell us.
So we are very excited about this announcement. So we've been trying to reimagine the world of agentic apps and agentic solutions. For the largest part, the world that I've lived in, and all of you as well, when we think about application, it has a form with 20 fields, and you fill it, and you click submit, and there's a busy signal. And then it comes up with a page with lots of information. And we somehow think putting all the information on one screen will give joy to people, and it doesn't. So that's the current world. The world of agentic applications doesn't have to look like anything we have seen before. It could be completely different, where it's 80, 90% autonomous. And so we have been at it for over 2 years, and in partnership with OpenAI, we combined OpenAI's reasoning model with our process reasoning model. So we just specialize in enterprise work, 420 million of them. So it is very narrowly focused, and when you do it like that, it produces unbelievable outcomes. So this new set of agentic applications designed for the AI-first enterprise is what we announced today, and there are a series of those solutions, and excited to see how we'll take shape with that.
Congratulations. We have to leave it there. Stick around. Eleanor is coming back on stage, but thank you, Mihir, for joining me today. Thank you for this insightful conversation.
Pleasure. Thank you.